You know that feeling, right? You know exactly what to do, you've got the perfect plan, but then boom, in the heat of the moment, it all just falls apart. Well, today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and we're going to build a mental framework to master your mindset when it really counts, using some surprisingly ancient wisdom. Let's dive in. So, let's kick things off with something I like to call the trader's paradox. And listen, this isn't just for traders. It applies to anyone in a high-pressure gig. Think athletes, executives, you name it. It's this weird, strange reality where having all the right skills and all the knowledge, it doesn't automatically mean you're going to succeed. In fact, sometimes knowing too much can actually be a problem. Okay, so let me just ask you this straight up. You've put in the hours, right? You get the rules of the game. You know what you should be doing. So why? Why is there still that super frustrating gap between what you know in your head and the results you're actually getting? How come that perfect strategy that was working great yesterday just completely blows up today? Here's the thing, and this is so important. The problem probably isn't some technical skill you're missing. It's not about getting a new piece of software or a fancier spreadsheet. Nope, the missing piece is all psychological. It all comes down to discipline. The discipline to actually do what you already know how to do over and over, especially when the pressure is on. All right, so what's the solution? Well, you're not going to find it in the latest productivity hack, that's for sure. Instead, we're going to look back, way back, at an ancient blueprint for how we humans operate. We're talking about a set of principles that have guided people making tough decisions under pressure for literally thousands of years. And this ancient proverb, man, it just sets the stage perfectly. It draws this super clear line in the sand between two different mindsets. You've got the diligent mind, that's the one that's methodical, prepared, and then you have the hasty mind, totally impulsive, just reacting to things. One leads to steady gains, the other, well, it leads to poverty, to ruin. And did you catch that key word? Plans. That's the foundation we're about to build on. So our first pillar is all about building the foundation, the external stuff. You know, before you even step into the ring, you need a solid corner. This is all about creating a crystal clear plan of action and putting up some guardrails to protect your resources. And I mean everything. Your money, your time, your energy. Okay, now this is a really, really important distinction here. See, most people have a strategy. That's like a general set of rules, right? But way fewer people have a daily plan. A strategy is theoretical. It's all the things you could do. A plan, that's what you will do, today, right now. It's taking that big theoretical strategy and making it real and actionable for what's happening this very moment. And this right here, this speaks directly to that protect part of our foundation. You gotta forget that whole get-rich-quick lottery ticket mindset. The focus here is on building wealth little by little. It's a huge mental shift. You stop being a gambler who's always swinging for the fences, and you start becoming a careful steward of what you have, aiming for that steady, sustainable growth. So, how does that look in the real world? Well, in trading, there's a golden rule called the 1 to 2% risk rule. It's simple. You never risk more than 1 or 2% of your entire account on a single trade. And look, this rule isn't about being scared or timid, not at all. It's about making sure you survive. It guarantees that a few bad calls, and you will have bad calls, won't be enough to knock you out of the game entirely. Okay, so you've built your fortress on the outside. Your foundation is solid. But now, the battle moves inward. Because listen, you can have the most brilliant plan in the world, but it's completely useless if you can't control what's going on between your ears. So this second pillar is all about the mindset. It's about developing the patience and the poise to actually stick to the plan. And what a powerful image this is. It just perfectly illustrates the danger of an undisciplined mind. Think about it. A city with broken down walls is completely defenseless. Well, when your emotions are running wild, your bank account, your project, your career, it's just as vulnerable. Greed, fear, impatience, those are the enemies just waiting at the gates, ready to rush in and create total chaos. What this means is you have to become a student of yourself. You've got to know your specific emotional triggers. What sets you off? Do you get arrogant and reckless after a big win? Do you start revenge trading after a loss, trying to get your money back? Do you freeze up when things go against you? Or hey, do you just make dumb moves because you're bored? Figuring out these patterns, that's the first absolutely critical step to building those mental walls. I love this because it connects patience directly with a better result.
See, pride is loud, it's arrogant, it wants to rush in, be part of the action, prove how smart it is. Patience is quiet. It understands that sometimes the absolute best move you can make is no move at all. It's the discipline to just sit and wait for the perfect setup, the one that meets all of your criteria, not just a couple of them.
All right, so we've got our foundation set, we're working on the mindset. The final pillar, the thing that holds it all together, is the process. This is what makes it all last. Because success isn't a one-time thing, right? It's the result of a non-stop, disciplined cycle. You learn from your screw-ups, you rest so you can recharge, and you repeat that process for the long haul. And this is such a powerful warning against something called the confidence trap. You know what that is? It's that super dangerous point where you think you figured it all out. You think you know enough, so you stop asking for advice. You stop looking for feedback. But here's the reality. No matter how good you are, the world is always changing. If you don't have that outside counsel, whether it's from mentors, your colleagues, or even just looking at your own data honestly, your plans are going to fail. It's just a matter of time. And a huge part of this process is strategic rest. And let's be clear, this is not about being lazy. It's a legit tool for peak performance. Think of it like a weekly reset. You step away from the screen, you get away from the action completely. This lets your mind calm down. And from that calm place, you can review how you did, not from the emotional chaos of the moment, but from like a 30,000-foot view. I guarantee you that's where your best insights are going to come from. Now, when you hear the word integrity, it might think it sounds kind of, abstract. But here, it has a very real, very practical meaning. It simply means being brutally honest with yourself about how you're doing. Did you actually follow your plan? Did you stick to the rules you set for yourself? You can lie to yourself, but your results, your bank account, your project status, that stuff never lies. It always tells the truth. And this, right here, this is the ultimate gut check for integrity. Picture this. You break your own rules, but you get lucky and it works out. You make money. So what do? Do you celebrate it as a win? Or do you see it for what it is, a giant flashing warning sign that your discipline is slipping? A true professional sees that win as a long-term loss because all it does is reinforce a terrible habit. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've hit on planning, we've hit on mindset, and we've hit on process. And these are not just some fuzzy, abstract ideas. They form a real, practical framework that anyone, in any field, can use to close that gap between being good once in a while and being consistently great. So here it is, the 3 pillars of a disciplined mind. Number 1, the foundation. You build that with a daily plan and strict rules to protect what you've got. Number 2, the mindset. You have to master your internal state with patience and poise. And number 3, the process. You commit to that sustainable cycle of learning, resting, and repeating with total honesty. So I'm going to leave you with this one last question. The next time you hit a wall or face a setback, ask yourself this. Is the real problem here a lack of knowledge? Do I really need to learn more? Or is it a lack of discipline? A failure to simply do what I already know is the right move? Seriously, think about that. Because getting honest about the answer, well, that could change everything for you.